Space Today by Dos Equis, a proud partner of USC Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. And by Pechanga Resort and Casino, proud partner of USC football. And now, here are your Trojan Tailgate Show hosts, Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown. Brown.
Hello and welcome to the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. We are live in a hot one. Season opener inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for the start of the Lincoln Riley era. I am Jordan Moore, happy to be back with you. That is our All-American Sean Cody, the defensive lineman, our playmaker Sua Cravens, and our quarterback.
Playmaker as well.
Sure. Set up the playmakers. See the point guard. Captain Max Brown. And you can see we've got another co-host up here for at least segment one. It's the athletic director, Mike Bone. And Mike Bone is the reason that there is so much excitement here this afternoon. There's no doubt about it. It was not the season the Trojans wanted last year. And you've pretty much changed everything since then, Mike. I just look at this offseason, the boldness of it. The Lincoln Riley hire, the switch to the Big Ten, which is coming in a couple years. Just sort of draw a through line in terms of the message that you're trying to send to the Trojan family, to the nation, in terms of where this program is right now.
Well, first of all, Jordan, did we ever think this day would get here?
Oh,
doggone, it was a long week. Lincoln said it's the longest week of the year. I'm like, it felt like a month.
Yep.
But we are so excited for our fans and excited when they responded so well in the spring game with a record crowd and the energy and the excitement. I think we created so much energy, doggone it, through our fans that we turned the heat up, and now it's going to be a little dicey here today. But I tell you what, all the moves, all the things you're talking about, those are Trojan family moves. That's everybody on this stage. That's our fans. That's our students. That's our alumni. That's our faculty, our community. That's the driving force behind giving us an opportunity to do things like that.
Mike, you speak about the hype, the energy that was built this week. After all seeing that throughout the offseason, throughout this week, what are you hoping to see from this team today and the energy that's built kind of in the stadium?
Well, I think it's all about that. Energy wins. And I am really bummed out that it's going to be so hot. I think you were talking a little bit about being the hottest opening game in the history of our program that unfortunately will put some challenges together, but we're prepared. We've got misters at the gates coming in. We've got water, extra medical professionals and doctors, everybody ready to help and put that together. My hat's off to our concessionaire to help pull that together, but I really encourage everybody, get some fluids in you now because we want you to enjoy this team. And this team has worked really, really hard, and Lincoln and this coaching staff are going to put a style of play out there that's going to be really a lot of fun to watch, and we want people to be able to enjoy and celebrate with us.
Mike, talking about, just the summary of this hiring and, just this long off season that it's been, how does USC handle these expectations that come with Lincoln Riley becoming the head coach and then the joining of the Big Ten and it's just all this energy and excitement that's due in the next few years? How does USC manage expectations and stay in today?
Well, how did you do it when you were here?
Right? Just every day,
that's SC.
Yeah.
That's LA. And that's our program. And I think since I had the opportunity to meet all of you, I can't believe this is I was only here at the end of the first season, fourth season here already. It is about big expectations, big stages, big games, and that's what makes it great.
Yep.
And so I think that's why I'm so excited to have our recruits here today, so many people being a part of this, and I just want to thank our fans. I want to thank them for their help, their energy, and we had 60,000 tickets out before this heat wave came in, and I really think our fans are going to come and enjoy it, but we think of them often. They are really the intensity of interest behind it that makes it go. Our student section's going to bring it. I told Jordan earlier that we have asked the marching band to not wear their uniforms today. Yep. We love the band, we love their uniforms, but out of a caution of the challenges associated with the heat, we do not want any of those students subjected to any type of heat-related illness. But now they're going to really bring it because they're going to be shorts and T-shirts and have some fun. But the marching band really, really takes so much pride. They have 3-a-days. You guys can remember when you played, we did have 3-a-days.
We hear with the band playing when we were practicing.
Yeah, we don't have 3-a-days anymore in football, but they do in the band. And they have worked their heart out, and and they really want to do a great job. But our medical team have worked with their leadership, and we want to make sure they're safe. So I want to make sure nobody's surprised by that. We're just trying to be smart. It's going to be a long season, and we want our band as healthy as our football team.
Mike, a big reason why the fan base is so excited was the announcement end of June, moving to the Big Ten here in a couple years. What made that the right move for the Trojans?
Well, I think it's what we're talking about here. Expectation, stage, the ability to play against the biggest and brightest teams around the country. When I say brightest, you have to remember 13 out of the 14 members of the current Big Ten are AAU institutions, just like us, just like UCLA. So it's about joining elite programs with great history, great tradition, a high intensity of interest in their programs, and I can't wait to have them here in the Coliseum and having the opportunity to see what makes USC great.
Last one, Mike, you are the athletics director, not the GM of football. We have to try to remind people of that sometimes, and there's other things going on this fall as well. Great win by soccer over a number 6 TCU. Women's volleyball program seems like it's on the rise. We always expect great things from men's water polo. What can we look forward to in the sort of breadth of the experience for USA Athletics?
Well, I think it's much of the same, Jordan. I mean, you help and so many people on the stage help us talk about all those different pieces. But you know what? Every program is on a strong trajectory that is very, very exciting to be a part of it. And they feed off of each other. Those recruits, those athletes, the way they train, the way that they work in the weight room, the way they see each other building up their programs. And that's what's so exciting. And I just want to say this. My hat's off to Lincoln Riley and his staff and these players for what they've done, the work they put in, and they're deserving of our energy, our passion, and support. So let's continue doing everything we can to give them an opportunity to be successful.
You're bringing it. We're bringing it. We'll have the energy all afternoon. We'll get you set here for kickoff, 3 p.m. here in the Pacific time zone is when the Lincoln Riley era will officially get started. Big day ahead for the athletic director, Mike Bone. We appreciate him taking some time out for us on the Trojan Tailgate Show. And we come back, we'll go over that exciting offseason that the Trojans had. You're listening and watching the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
My name is Melissa Ward. USC, United Airlines, and the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum are coming together to help veterans who are small business owners in the LA community. We are giving away $25,000 to 4 Southern California veteran business owners. To apply, please go to united.com/VSBG.
Yeah. Cold hearts and heated floors, no parental guidance, I just see divorce. Therapy sessions, I'm in the waiting room reading Forbes. Abandonment issues, I'm getting treated for. How much water can I fit under the bridge before it overflows? My son's gotta learn that forgiveness is a lonely road. The crib's on his wheel like motorhomes. Let to try and test us like they know what we own.
Hey, Straw Hats, it's Monkey D. Luffy. I'm gonna be king of the pirates. I hope that you can join us on our next adventure in theaters this October. We'll set sail to the island of music in One Piece Film Red, and we want all of you to come along. Keep an eye out on the official channels for Toei Animation, One Piece, and Crunchyroll for latest news on these and all things One Piece. So cool!
Alas, the ship rides to the morning. You know it's calling, leave back home, put down the sorrow, and dance to me.
It's the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti, with Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown.
Welcome back to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Max Brown. We got him to hop back up on the stage. A talking point for later in the broadcast. The opponent today is the Rice Owls, and their offensive coordinator is Marcus Tuiasosopo. So Max was saying hello to him. We all were. Tui was here not too long ago. And the way this business goes, they just changed the polos, but they're still the same great people.
Yep. Literally the quarterback coach for a couple weeks there.
Well, let's go over this timeline a little bit, guys, because it has been quite an offseason. It was a slog of a year last year, no doubt. We were up on this stage trying to make the best of it sometimes on these Saturdays. We know the fans weren't particularly into it, but things changed right there when Lincoln Riley was named the head coach. It came right at the end of the season, so we didn't have to wait too long for that. And then the momentum just propelled. And I look at that list. Riley hired. They bring in a small freshman class. But of that group, 5 of the 7 were 4 or 5-star players, so nothing but really elite talent. And then they went in the portal guys. So what sticks out to you after the Riley hire that were the biggest moments of the offseason?
It's the Riley hire for me, Jordan. I remember sitting in the booth with you during that Cal game, and we were probably at the lowest we've ever been. Mike Bone was you could tell he was about to pop, and luckily, fortunately, that turn happens with Lincoln Riley, and that really catapulted. I think everything you look at underneath that is because of that decision to bring in Lincoln Riley and what they did. Not just Mike Bone, but a man who's here today, Brandon Sosna, who's with the Detroit Lions in the building, a big part of that change as well. Yes, so just definitely I think that Lincoln Riley really just springboarded that all those changes. So.
Can we just say that game at Cal will go down as one of the weirdest USC sporting events ever? The game that was played after the Pac-12 championship game?
Yes.
There was a game?
There's a ton to play for in that one.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, no, just piggybacking off your point, it's just been, for me, as a college football fan, the recruiting has been way different. You went from, are we going to get this California guy, or is he going to Oregon, or is he going across the country, to immediate impact to a hire to this guy staying. And now this 5-star that's from California that would go to Alabama is now he's staying here. So it's played a major role. And as a fan, I love to see how fast Lincoln has hit the road running.
To me, it's the portal. I mean, I know I drastically underestimated how big of an impact that would be back in December, of how quickly you could turn around a roster. In years past, it was, hey, you need 3 seasons to turn around a roster. You have 20 guys incoming off the portal. That's a full-on recruiting class. And I think in 5 years, we'll look back as, hey, Lincoln Riley set the standard for what it means to be a new head coach coming into a program and totally revamping the roster. And that's what I'm excited about today, is to see all those guys in action finally.
Yeah, and you bring up the portal. We were out here for a great spring game, a record crowd for a USC spring game. So we talked about Caleb Williams and a lot of these topics before, but even since then, they bring in the Bolitnikoff Award winner Jordan Addison. They bring in a really unique piece defensively in Eric Gentry, who I can't wait to see out here, a 6'6" inside linebacker.
Freshman All-American.
Yeah, it just continues to bear fruit for the Trojans.
And it makes that transition from a coach that much smoother, right? If you usually give a coach a couple years to kind of try to get that thing going. Now the expectations are a little more rise that you can bring these studs in, Eric Gentry, Jordan Addison, and kind of just change that dynamic and hopefully get that culture shifting right away. I think, but Caleb Williams is probably the biggest portal to entrance. When you can have that relationship, I think, with your head coach and your quarterback, and you guys are on the same page, and Caleb can kind of spread that gospel to your team, I think that's probably the most integral connection there probably is. They're made during the season.
Did you see Caleb's game day fit?
Oh,
is it Sua Cravens approved?
He strolled in like he was in the Rolling Stones. Like, this man was a straight rock star. And
it's a rock concert out here.
He's ready to ball. And, these transfers, like Max has said, has been huge for this team. And it's created depth for the defense now, because we see guys who were starting last year who are 2 now, because these transfers that came in and who were leaders wherever they came from are now on this team, allowing our 2s to have some depth. So now injury's not going to derail the entire season, which we've seen for the last maybe 5 or 6 years. So that's been really big.
And it's created a snowball effect, too. In years past, we've talked about the negative snowball effect of, hey, one thing goes wrong, and then it feels like it leads to 2 and then 4. Well, with the portal, with the good energy, the past 9 months have been awesome from a USC standpoint in terms of the momentum and the excitement there. And we'll see once you get punched in the mouth how they react. That'll be a good test. But energy's as high as it could be right now.
But, the thing about the portal, too, they're ready-made players.
Yep.
So they don't just come in and you go, okay, they got to figure things out. They got to adjust to college. There's some adjusting to the system, and they're in a new school. I get all that. But you look at that depth chart, particularly offensively, all 3 starting wide receivers, transfers. The 3 guys that I expect to touch the ball the most out of the backfield today, transfers. Your quarterback, a transfer. I mean, this is not like easing them in. This is your team.
Yeah, they're battle tested, right? I mean, coming in as a freshman and trying to play, I remember being a young guy, you're just not ready for the speed of the game. But when you're battle tested somewhere else, whether it's another big-time college university, you've been on the field. You can't say how big a part that is to have that game field experience with some guys out there, and when you're in the wars, because fighting out here is a lot different than when you're in high school and things are going bad. These guys had to turn around, and they've done a good job so far.
Yeah, and for those who weren't watching last year, I'll put it in NFL terms for you. USC went out with $100 million worth of stock and picked up 6 major signings. And like you said, we have a Biletnikoff winner at receiver that was not here last year. We have a former 5-star that was at Oklahoma who already has the rapport built with Caleb Williams coming over to play. And then we have guys like Taj Washington who can just go back there and return punts and kicks all game that we have coming off the bench. Like, it's ridiculous how this transfer portal and the whole new landscape of college football has changed. And I kind of wish that we had that when we were playing.
It's like in Madden when you turn off fair trades and you just pay whoever the heck you want.
All right, well, we're going to get in throughout the show to the strengths and weaknesses of this team, but we also want you to be a part of the show this season. Hashtag Trojan Tailgate Show on Twitter. So if you're watching us live on Twitter, you can also get some questions in the YouTube chat. We'll see if they can get those to us as well. But if you can go to Twitter and use that hashtag Trojan Tailgate Show, we'll actually put you on the show later on with your question. We'll get these guys to answer it. And as you can see there, too, that little sticker on the right, Cody Kessler will be joining the show this season as well. So we got to make sure we have a quarterback at all times. When Max needs a rest, we'll sub in Cody. So pretty good that we have 2 great USC QBs.
A little role reversal there.
That's right.
2013 to 15 there. Feels good to be on the other side.
That's right.
Awesome.
All right, well, Max, you're up next because it's the offensive game plan coming up. You're listening to the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
We get to play in one of the great stadiums in the world. First thing you got to do to become a great program is protect home. The energy and atmosphere, and here you are right in the heart of LA. Nothing else like it in our game. There's nothing that compares to it in college football. We got to have that place packed, man. I mean, that place in that setting, this school, this history, come on, man. That's as good as it gets, so we're going to get it back.
Rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, where you can be an impact player, a clutch hitter, or a wild card. No matter what your game is, the excitement and relaxation you're looking for is here. So get back to the fun and play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
Behind the end zone inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Hopefully this place will fill up today for all the hardy USC fans. Don't mind a little desert heat on a September Saturday to get things started. USC versus Rice. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Max Brown. And Max Brown now has the offensive game plan.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7!
I don't know what red 7 means.
The USC Trojans offensive game plan is brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Fight on.
All right, guys, looking at the offense today, I feel like we know what's going to be explosive in the pass game, but it's the run game that I want to focus on. And as we hit to this first play, for those watching us on the stream, One of the plays that Lincoln Riley has made an absolute staple is the GT counter. We all know they're explosive in the pass game, but it all starts with the run game up front. What is the play? It's washing the play side offensive line down and then pulling the backside, guard and tackle, kicking the defensive end out. It's X's and O's, it's high level there, but it's a play that you'll see all over college football, and Lincoln Riley's the guy that really sparked it. And why is this so tough? It puts so much pressure on the linebackers. Imagine being a Rice defender today, having to cover all three receivers, and then, oh, by the way, you have a rushing attack that's elite as well. To me, I'm excited. We always hear, hey, where's student body right, where's student body left? We're not going to get that this season, but I do think we're going to get a much more improved rushing attack. That's what Lincoln Riley wants to be. You can say air raid all you want. That's not what it is. It's an offense that can beat you in multiple levels, and I'm intrigued to see how, hey, not only the run play, but then the play-action play off of that, which we'll get to right here. As they fake the run play, you get the linebackers to suck up, and then you can sneak a playmaker in right behind. The play we're seeing on the stream right here is a tight end getting him in behind the linebackers. And that, to me, is a question in this game that I think we're going to find out. How big of a role does the tight end room have in this offense? What do the play action look like? That's what Caleb Williams wants to do. He wants to utilize the run game to then take shots down the field behind the defense. It starts with the run game. We can talk about the receivers all we want, but if USC wants to get back to contending for a conference championship, we got to be great in the run game.
And we talk about Caleb Williams. Obviously, he will be the focus. I think what everyone's excited about coming in, that maybe the one player, because I think the fans are going to have to learn a lot of new players, but I think they sort of get who Caleb is now. And one thing we haven't talked a ton about is he really is, I don't know, maybe the most mobile quarterback USC has had in a long time, if not ever, and how his role in the run game plays a part today.
Yeah, no offense to old Max Brown and Cody Kessler, but they weren't the old mobile of
we used to think of Cody as mobile. We were like, he was a basketball.
He's probably pissed that we're getting put in the same family. He was more mobile than me.
Yeah, so it's going to be a new life for USC quarterbacks. I never played with a mobile quarterback here in Leinart and Carson. We're too mobile either, but having a mobile quarterback definitely adds another dimension to your offense. I think it's something that Lincoln uses and he has used in the past, and Caleb will use that at some point. I want to see him really try to develop that pocket presence. I'm always a huge quarterback fan when we're in there swinging that thing, but it's nice to when you need it and there's pressure coming down you, every once in a while pop that thing out, make a big play. It really sparks the crowd.
Yeah, his mobility and the RPO options will come because, and we haven't talked about him much yet, but Dye at running back is going to open it way up, because now you have a running back that you can motion out in an empty slot and get a one-on-one mismatch with a linebacker. He's a guy that can leak out, and you cannot ignore him because he's so fast and explosive. He'll get a 40-yard gain just off a hot route if you send pressure. So with that being said, you have to designate one defender to the running back out the backfield at all times, which now allows Caleb to use those legs. I feel the same way. I want him to stay in that pocket as long as he can, get the ball out to these receivers. We have a Bolitnikov. we have 2 or 3 5-stars that you can get the ball to out at receiver. But when he does run, I'm expecting it to be extending plays to run to throw the ball deep and as well as convert on third downs.
I think Darnold might have something to say about the mobility too. Their legs are comparable. When Sam got going,
he was.
But to your point, how is that used in the offense? That'll be interesting to see. I'm just intrigued. You go down the first and second string. There are so many playmakers, and like Jordan said, proven playmakers. But there's only one ball to go around. And how do the roles differ? Where do guys fit in? What's the rotation like? That's something that I think we're not going to get every answer today, but I do think we'll get the rotation answer in week 1.
Everybody's got to eat big.
Let's go over those weapons real quick, guys. Travis Dye led the Pac-12 in yards from scrimmage last season. 2 years ago, Austin Jones led the Pac-12 in touchdowns. And then Raleek Brown, he's sort of the buzz player of camp. He's that guy. Camp was a little tighter than we're used to in USC years past, so not as many eyeballs on it, but the buzz coming out of it is Raleek Brown is explosive out of that backfield.
Yeah, when you're getting any kind of mention with the old number 5 that I played with Reggie, then you're doing something special out there. Raleek, he has that. And I think you'll see, I don't know if Lincoln shows a ton of cards today into how he's going to use Raleek Brown, but I do think you'll see him and the explosiveness he carries. I think it's something special, and it's definitely something to watch today.
And it's nice to know that you have 2 proven All-American or All-American type running backs in front of you, so where the pressure isn't on you. You're not expected to come out as a 17 or 18-year-old kid and be out here and balling and be the guy. You can just be yourself. You can find your game as the season progresses, and that's how superstars are born. Because when you get into that sophomore year and you have that confidence instilled from the year prior, there's no telling. And he has the perfect opportunity to make that a reality.
And in years past, the receiver room has had very specific roles. There was a slot guy, there was an outside guy, there was a boundary guy. Looking at the three receivers today, Brendan Rice, Mario Williams, Jordan Addison, all those guys are primarily outside receivers. Do they have a slot guy this year? Are they all rotating around? If they are able to rotate around, that's an absolute headache for a defensive coordinator. I'm sure Lincoln Riley's going to have fun with that.
Yeah, we talk a ton about the new offensive weapons. We didn't even mention Mario Williams. Max just did, but he sort of gives me Antonio Brown vibes a little bit. Saw him in the spring game. And then a veteran offensive line. Obviously, we'll sort of quickly overlook the offensive line. That's the life of the offensive lineman. But those are some of the names we know coming back. Andrew Voorhees, Brett Nealon, Justin Detus. These guys have played a lot of football. Voorhees has 37 starts and has played 44 games in his career. So he has done it before. Hey, LA, I know you've been doing a good job of using less water at home, but it's time to step up our efforts and conserve even more. Check out the various rebates and programs at ladwp.com/save. That's ladwp.com/save. Let's do this, LA. Before we go to break, I think we're going to throw up what Caleb Williams was rocking coming off the bus today. We got that for the Trojan Tailgate Show audience.
Can we get Seward to review this outfit?
I'm telling you. So, look, you peep, the arms are out. You know, the suns are out, the guns are out. You got the bell-bottom jeans on with a little flash on the kneecap right there. And then
Lenny Kravitz.
I think that's a Louis bag in his hand right there. Nice little NIL touch right there.
Welcome to the NIL era, folks. All right, defensive game plan is next. It's the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Wow, we're crunching tons of polygons here.
What's going on? Where's Regina?
Hi, I'm LaDonna. I invest in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like real-time CGI.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and more in the prospectus at Invesco.com.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at iTrustCapital.com.
Hi, yes, I need a locksmith. 3 hours. Guess I'll be right here.
Oh, nice. 2% cash back, right?
And it is saving the day right now.
Good afternoon.
It was.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa Card. That's real life ready.
Yeah. One time. Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back.
Welcome back. Yeah, we've been gone for so long. Now we coming home. Welcome back. Yeah, and keep your head held high, reaching up for the sky. Welcome back. Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back.
I'm coming home like I never left.
The Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. The Trojan specialists are out there, and that's kind of an interesting conversation to have later on. The new kicker, new punter for the USC Trojan family to get to know this week. But we're talking defense right now. It's the defensive game plan with Sean Cody and Stuart Cravens.
Everyone knows defense wins championships. And a Trojans victory will require a solid defensive game plan.
Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3. Defense!
This is the USC Trojans defensive game plan. Brought to you by LifeLaw. Injury law made simple.
All right, so all year long, leading up to this moment, we've heard from Coach Grinch and his defensive staff that they only want to recruit athletes. They want guys that can play multiple positions, that can stay on the field all 3 downs, and be able to comprehend and understand a larger playbook. And I'm going to show you what he means by this with this first play. So last year in this Red River rivalry, you try saying that 3 times fast, early in the game, first down is 3rd and 5. He's going to show pressure, but instead of bringing pressure, he's only going to rush 4. He's going to put this linebacker on the edge as a hole player, allowing the DBs to remain outside leverage so they have inside help, and then the athleticism kicks in as the play starts. Let it run. He's going to back out instead of showing pressure, give inside leverage, and as the play breaks down, now the athleticism kicks in where he contain rushes, brings it back to the rush, and you get a sack on 3rd down. That's how you get off the field. Now, this is where the game of chess kicks in. Later on in the game, 2nd and short, you're going to show coverage, but instead, you're going to do a contain rush, which means you're going to let the quarterback think that he has time, but these 2 inside linebackers that line up are going to rush the outside edges to contain whatever gets outside, and then he's going to smartly use the rush in to fall back in as the exact same hole player as it was on the last play. So let it run. And this is the athleticism you need from all positions to be able to do this, because you can't have a 300-pound nose tackle doing that, because if the play breaks down and the quarterback gets out the pocket, he's not getting there. Well, smart play. The very next play, now this is where it really happens. He's not going to show anything. He's going to let you think that he has time to pass. He's going to show coverage, but instead he's going to do a double dog cross peel. Peel meaning any running back or any lineman that's lined up to the running back side, if your running back swings, you peel and you take him man. You take away that hot route and you let these inside linebackers eat. They cross dog blitz, they peel on the back, takes away his hot read, and then they get off the field early in the game on 3rd down. Plays like that, you need athletes. You can't have crash dummies. You can't have guys that aren't able to switch plays on the fly and create audibles, and that's what he's looking to recruit, and I think that he has that with his defense this year.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the same kind of stuff, man, up front. I'm going to talk about Alex Grinch's defensive scheme, how Sean Nua is going to be available in that, but we're going to take it back to 2019 if you guys want to run that clip for me here. We're taking it back to 2019, another Oklahoma-Texas game here. We got the nose tackle right here making a big sack. They got that odd man look, so you're going to have 3 down defensive tackles and 2 outside linebackers giving you that same look up front. Then the next play he comes back and he's going to have that same linebacker, instead of dropping back into coverage, he's going to be blitzing up inside. And so look for Alex Grinch to give you that same look up front with that 3-4 look, and then he's going to bring that pressure sometimes, and then sometimes those linebackers, like Sua said, are going to drop back in that coverage, and they're going to, and what it really does, guys, is it really screws up the offensive lineman's count, right? The offensive linemen are sitting there, and we got 5 guys here, and they think everyone's rushing. These 2 guys drop out, and what you see a lot when you're playing against an Alex Grinch defense, an offensive lineman blocking nobody, right? And that's what defensive linemen want. They want somebody blocking no one. That means more one-on-ones, more pressure to the quarterback, and that's what you can expect here today from Alex Grinch's defense.
You know, one thing I think about Alex Grinch, he's got a harder job this year than the OC does, that part of Lincoln Riley's job, because I think this was a defense that was really struggled last season. And he has some newcomers that we'll get into, but he has to rehabilitate some of these guys. He has to break some bad habits. He couldn't really just flush it across the board the way the offense did.
Well, new blood helps, I think. Him having a new blood, having a great leader in Shane Lee, who was named one of the captains, having Tully on board from last year to make that crossover. But like you said, Jordan, last year's defense, there was times last year where guys were shutting it down. And that's, as a defense player, that broke my heart at times this year. So Alex Grinch has a big job ahead of him. He sounds like he's willing to take this task, but he's got to change this guy's the culture of, that's what he talked about this week. How are these guys going to deal with adversity? When that first play happens on 3rd down, they give up their first 3rd down, and it's a 1st down. You see guys going, oh, man, last year we saw that a lot. We saw guys turning down hits. We got to see those guys say, all right, next set of downs, let's go get it. Big play after a turnover, can we make it happen? Those kind of things you want to see from this defense.
So we'll talk about one of the newcomers that you like the most.
Well, unfortunately, he's not going to get to play today, but I was really looking forward to seeing how Damani Jackson was going to do, especially in that nickel position, because we're talking athletes, we're talking guys that can play nickel, corner, safety. Kalen Bullock is proven. He's going to be the leader in that secondary, and he's going to lead by example. But who's going to be the next guy to step up? We've heard Sierra Wright has made a huge jump in camp. He's going to get that start at boundary corner this year. He put on a lot of weight. He's matured in his game. He's locked in. So I'm really excited to see what the young buck is going to do.
Mekhi Blackman for me. I think when you look at the secondary, are those guys just – the defense is going to be better, but is it to the point where it's just a small step, or do we have guys out wide that are locked down, that you can win a game and it's not just a, hey, we have to outscore you every single week?
All right, Trojan fans, get ready for game day and shop the Ralph's app for all your fresh tailgating faves. Ralph's is a proud partner of USC Athletics. Talking defensive newcomers, when we come back, we're going to get into our impact player, who is a returner. That's Tuli Tuipulotu, one of the stars of this USC defense. He's next on the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti.
How are you?
Did I mention Smart Stop Self-Storage has state-of-the-art security systems operating 24 hours a day? So we see everything. Everything.
I got a whole lot of money. Y'all it for me. Bottle keep popping and water bed jacket. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. My partner on the my hood up on the drum. Roll up the line, I'm trying to get it. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party.
Sometimes faster isn't always better. Like when you're getting a tattoo. Or saying I love you on the first date. Or putting together certain Swedish furniture.
But when it comes to getting in and out of the airport, faster is always better. And at Ontario International Airport, you can have a stress-free experience from the curb to the gate.
It's the least we can do.
Fires one, slices and dices.
Pulls up for three and knocks it through. Another power play score.
USC superior in the sand.
Welcome back to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. We are live inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, getting set for the season opener, the debut game of the Lincoln Riley era, USC versus Rice. That kick will come up at 3 o'clock. We'll take you to 2:30 and then kick it up to the booth for Pete Arbogast, Sean Cody, and I'll head to the sideline for the radio broadcast. But we still have plenty of time here, and we got a chance to catch up with our impact player this week. It's Tuli Tuipulotu.
The Impact Player of the Week. Brought to you by Terranea Resort.
Some things in life just can't be described. To truly understand them, you must experience them yourself. Join us at Terranea Resort on the beautiful Palos Verdes Peninsula, a hidden gem on the Los Angeles coast. For details, visit terranea.com.
Let's go! And now the Impact Player of the Week.
All right, this week's impact player is Tuli Tuipulotu, and you are one of the veteran returners on this team. There aren't a ton of those guys. How have you taken a leadership role as you've welcomed all these new players to the program?
Just trying to lead by example. There's always stuff I got to work on, and if I come every day and just put in the work and people see, and then hopefully they follow. If they don't, so be it.
Well, so be it, but accountability seems like it's been a real message around here this offseason.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think we've been doing pretty good with accountability off the field, on the field also, but I think our accountability is like a lot of it is from the off the field stuff. So I think we've been doing pretty good. And yeah, we should continue to improve.
All right, we're all looking forward to seeing this defense for the first time under Alex Grinch. Where have you guys improved, do you feel like, the most since last year?
I think just being able to just play freely. I'm talking about the up front. I don't know that much about the back end, but up front, yeah, we've been allowed to play freely, a lot more loose, and we just got to execute the plays.
Lastly, what are we going to see from your game? What have you been working on this offseason? Where have you improved?
Just getting better in everything I do so to help the team to win. That's all I got to do.
Game wrecker up front, Tuli Tuipulotu. That is our impact player for week one. Hopefully Sean Cody is happy with that. Back to the Trojan Tailgate Show. I gave you a defensive lineman, Sean, to get things started, and he's one that needs to be special this season. You know, we kind of talked about that last year. Drake Jackson needed to be special for that team. He didn't have a particularly great season, and it hurt them because that is still one area, and we'll get to some of the questions on this defense. They don't have a lot of blue chippers up there, but Thule is one.
Yeah, this is the guy who brings his lunch pail to work every day. Obviously not a big speaker, not really his thing, but if you're a captain, you don't always have to lead with your mouth. You can go out there and work, and that's if you watch Thule last year and what he did, it's really special, guys, because it was not a good defense. They were not playing up to the standards of a Trojan defense, but this guy just came to work every day and made plays after play and just kept going. Didn't matter who they were playing, and that's who you want. If you're Lincoln Riley, you're Alex Grinch, those are the kind of foundation guys that you want to have that'll kind of get the ball rolling for you in this defense, because Thule, he goes out there, man, too, and he just plays.
And the other guy who I really like as a returner that I wanted Tua to get into was Kalen Bullock. I mean, I think we had Jordan Addison on Trojans Live this week, and he sort of shouted out. We didn't even ask him about Kalen Bullock or anyone on defense. He was like, "Stop! I want to tell you who I think is going to have a huge year. It's Kalen Bullock." And I think there's a lot of people that think he is, a future first-round draft pick kind of guy.
Yeah, he came out and showed out as a true freshman last year, and he showed you what he's capable of. He's very smart. He can play man. He can play zone. He wants to come up and tackle. I want to see him take that leap to being the next elite defender. You were good last year, but what are you going to do to progress and be elite now? And take that jump and be not just a great player, but be a playmaker. Be that guy where if the ball's in the air and it's to your side, it's a 50-50 chance you're coming down with it. He's very capable of it. I've heard nothing but great things about him from when he arrived on campus till now. I don't see a sophomore slump coming anytime soon. I just want him to progress and attack. Be great. Do the things you can do.
And the player I wanted you to get into, Max, is Nick Figueroa. I know he's one of Sean's favorites to talk to. Again, might be used a little differently than last year based on the way the depth chart looks, but Nick Figueroa is certainly somebody that returns with production in his pocket.
And that's what I'm excited to see. With Alex Grinch, he's at his best when this defense is creative, and there are a lot of creative possibilities you can do with the defensive line, especially on third down. I mean, Jordan alluded to it. Nick Figueroa, awfully productive last year. Well, now he's listed as a backup. I have a hard time believing that he's not going to have an impact role, but you go Thule, you go Nick, the interior guys as well, Romello Height, Corey Foreman on the outside. I like to think both those guys will be involved in third down. So last year you didn't have the luxury to say, hey, we can do all these different combinations because you didn't have that depth. Yes, there's some unproven guys on this defensive line, but you'd like to think there's some combinations that you can mess with and have success with.
Okay, so answer this question for me, guys, because when people ask me the number one question mark of this team, we've all done a bunch of interviews leading up to the season. I keep coming back to sort of interior defensive line, Sean. I'm still looking for a 325-pound guy to just, shut down the run in there, and there's just not a lot on this roster still. But what I noticed is it looks like they might start two big guys instead of one. Last year we saw Stanley, but we'd see him next to Nick and Thule. It looks like maybe Stanley and Dejan might play together. What do you anticipate? Is that just the way they lay out the depth chart, but we're going to see them come out in nickel and none of it's going to matter?
Yeah, sometimes these depth charts can be a little bit misleading, but I think there will be a rotation of guys, and I'm sure that Coach Nua is going to want to get a combination that he likes, that he feels comfortable with. Yeah, you talked about Nick Figueroa with the shoulder last year. I think he's prone to have a big year, but this defense just has not been good up the middle for a long time, and whether it's the nose tackle or whether it's the middle linebacker, that middle has been soft for a couple years. I'm looking for them to shore it up this year with Shane Lee, even Gentry in the middle there. He looks like he's starting at the middle, so you want Peely to have a big year. You need Stanley to have a big year, but you need that middle to really build from the inside out.
Yeah, the return of Brandon Peely maybe does play a big role here. He's still listed at that second level of the depth chart, but he is a guy, it tips the scales at over 300 pounds that can really take up a little bit more space than some of the guys we saw in there last year. Some of the Trojans are heading onto the field now to begin their warm-ups. A lot of the skill guys. I see Travis Dye high-fiving his teammates, getting them going as they get loose. It will not be a hard day to get loose out here at over 100 degrees on the Coliseum turf. Hey, again, if you have any questions for us, use the hashtag Trojan Tailgate Show on Twitter. Hashtag Trojan Tailgate Show, and these guys can answer your questions later on in the broadcast. And some things in life just can't be described. Who would like to be at Terranea right now? I mean, we're very happy to be here watching football, but maybe a little dip in the pool afterwards at Terranea would be nice.
With a Yeti on the side at Terranea?
I clipped clipped Carson Luna on Terranea's course.
I believe that.
Clipped him.
I believe that. To truly
Absolute
understand
massacre.
the beauty of Terranea, you must experience it yourself. Join us at Terranea Resort on the beautiful Palos Verdes Peninsula, Los Angeles Coast Hidden Gem. For details, visit Terranea.com. We come back. We've got an opponent to talk about. We'll get into the scouting report for Rice. That's next on the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
My name is Melissa Ward. USC, United Airlines, and the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum are coming together to help veterans who are small business owners in the LA community. We are giving away $25,000 to 4 Southern California veteran business owners. To apply, please go to united.com/VSBG.
The fully electric Audi e-tron family is here. With models that fit any lifestyle and innovative ways to make your e-tron your own. Through elegant design and progressive technology, all the exhilaration, none of the compromise. The Audi e-tron family. Progress that moves you.
Yeah. Cold hearts and heated floors, no parental guidance, I just see divorce. Therapy sessions, I'm in the waiting room reading Forbes. Abandonment issues, I'm getting treated for. How much water can I fit under the bridge before it overflows? My son's gotta learn that forgiveness is a lonely road. The crib's on his wheel like motorhomes. Let it try and test us like they know what we own.
Getting that perfect slice is satisfying, fulfilling, and rewarding too. But we don't do it for fun. We do it for fresh. Slice to order makes a sub above.
Welcome back to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. You can see right there, we're just over an hour until kickoff. We've got about 1:45 here in the Pacific time zone on a hot, steamy Los Angeles afternoon. Rice, I guess they'll be used to this weather coming from Texas. We'll see how everyone handles it today, though. It's time now for our scouting report.
It's time for the Scouting Report, brought to you by Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics. Now, we're going to help you get to know today's opposing team.
Today's opposing team is the Rice Owls. Breaking it down, Sean Cody, Sue Cravens, Max Brown. I am Jordan Moore, and USC's played Rice, but many, many years ago, so this is not a team that we're particularly familiar with, although, as we mentioned right at the top when Marcus Tuiasosopo jumped out to say hello to Max Brown, we do know some of the characters, particularly on the coaching staff here, and their head coach is Mike Blumgren, who we saw at Stanford, so can we expect some Stanford offense today?
Yeah, definitely. You'll definitely see some of that old power smash mouth. You see some fullbacks today, Max. You get lined up in that I formation, and they're going to run some of that, but I think Coach Tuiasosopo, he brings another level to this. He's going to try to stretch you vertically. He's going to try to make some plays in the passing game. So those two elements will be combined. It's really kind of two teams last year that were 4-8 going at it here. I think last year the Trojans were unhappy with this, but I feel like the Owls maybe feel like they're kind of climbing in the right direction at 4-8. So definitely two teams are going maybe opposite directions there, hopefully.
And if I'm Rice, going into this game, you don't have anything to lose. You're not expected to win. You're not expected to compete against this team. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of this weather. Take advantage of the expectations of this game. If I'm them, I'm coming out no huddle, and I'm airing it out the first quarter just to get guys tired so then we can establish that smash mouth approach that they had at Stanford, or the head coach had at Stanford.
Yeah, if you're Rice and you know that the concern for USC is the interior of the defensive line, and the Owls pride themselves in running the rock, I'm sure that's what they're saying in their offensive meetings is, hey, let's get after these guys, let's wear them down, interior of the defensive line. They can have all the athletes on the outside, but there's maybe in their mind that they can get after him on the inside. I'd expect that, but I'd also expect, like Sean said, some play action, over the top, and ball control. Can they limit the possessions in this game? Can they condense the game, shorten it down, and just give yourself a shot in the second half? Don't think it'll happen, but from a Rice perspective, I'm sure that's what they're saying.
Yeah, always beware of the opening day opponent. Things can get weird in week one because there's no preseason games. We don't really know what these teams are, and we were sitting over there before the show, and UCLA was losing 17-7 at the Rose Bowl to Bowling Green. I just checked, and it looks like it's 24-17 UCLA now, so maybe they are fixing things on the fly a little bit, but they also had a huge point spread like this one. Max, you know Coach Tui, obviously he came up. How would you describe him as a coach and offensive mind?
Yeah, he was my favorite position coach. I didn't have him for a coordinator as long, but he coaches as a former quarterback. We all know his playing career with the Raiders, super successful as a Washington Husky quarterback, one of the greats, and he would coach having been in the saddle, not just, hey, your read should be X, Y, Z on paper. He knows, hey, it's a little bit different when the bullets are flying out there. I always appreciated that at a Coach Tui, and a great guy, and awesome to see him in person here.
They were 123rd nationally in pass defense last season, Sua, so I'm guessing that's a green light for Lincoln and Caleb today.
I think that's going to play into exactly what Lincoln and Caleb want to do today. They're not going to be able to cover these athletes out on the outsides, and they're going to be able to do a lot of RPOs and a lot of screen, and not necessarily even attack downfield, just a quick, a hot route to the outside and just let athletes be athletes. And if they can't stop us on the outside, that obviously is going to open up the run game, and that's when Travis Dye and Austin Jones take advantage.
Max, what's the way that most opponents would try to defend against Lincoln Riley's offense? Because we talked about so much of the drop 8 coverage against Graham Harrell the last couple years, and this is a variation of the air raid. I mean, we sort of don't like to talk about it that much because the fans were so against the air raid, but I think everyone's excited about Lincoln Riley's version. But do you expect to see the same kind of thing as the season progresses?
I expect things to be different every single week, and the reason for that is, it's crazy. We have the Biletnikoff Award winner, yet I don't think you can double him. Last year we saw a lot of doubling for Drake London. You could focus in on him. You can't do that because SC has so many receiver and playmakers. I think as a defensive coordinator, you just have to mix things up. You have to keep Lincoln Riley and get Riley guessing, because if he knows what he's going to get, if he knows he's getting drop 8 every single play, you better believe he's going to have a blueprint to beat that, whether it's through the air, whether it's on the ground. You got to mix it up. And I know man sometimes been the curse for defenses here, but I think got to keep them honest from here and there. Just sprinkle it in. Don't just sit back, because I think that's where Caleb Williams will torch you.
Yeah, and it's a double-edged sword to that, because if you don't double Jordan, are you going to let Jordan beat you? And if you don't let Jordan beat you, is Mario going to beat you? Is Travis just going to run the ball all game? So Lincoln Riley, he has a plethora of options where he can choose from, and it's going to be hard to just single in one guy because there's so much talent spread across the field. We're spoiled.
Yeah, and the ability to run the football. But Sean, the other side of it is what I expect all season long is teams to try to run it on USC, because the best way to stop all those names that Sue has been talking about is to just keep them on the sideline.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's the best way, right? And that's what Stanford has done for a long time.
Yep.
They try to figure out that opponent, keep control of the ball. That's where Bloomgren comes from, that field of mind. So definitely expect that today. But the longer you can keep this offense explosion plays off the field, you don't want to really score quick on them. You want to have that methodical drive and score points at the end.
All right, today's game is presented by One Piece Film Red. Join the Straw Hat Pirates as they take on their next adventure, setting sail to the Island of Music in theaters this October. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds
amazing.
Exciting. It sounds amazing. We'll figure that out as the season goes on. All right, you're watching the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti, coming right back at you.
Big Fog.
Hey, Straw Hats. It's Monkey D. Luffy. I'm going to be king of the pirates. I hope that you can join us on our next adventure in theaters this October. We'll set sail to the Island of Music in One Piece Film Red, and we want all of you to come along. Keep an eye out on the official channels for Toei Animation, One Piece, and Crunchyroll for latest news on these and all things One Piece. So cool!
Did I mention Smart Stop Self-Storage has state-of-the-art security systems operating 24 hours a day? So we see everything. Everything.
Wow, we're crunching tons of polygons here.
What's going on? Where's Regina?
Hi, I'm LaDonna. I invest in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like real-time CGI.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and more in the prospectus at Invesco.com.
I got a whole lot of money. Y'all it for me. Bottle keep popping and water, man. Jackie. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. My partner on the roll, my hood up on the drum. Roll up the line, I'm trying to get it done. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party.
Jordan Moore alongside Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown. We want to take a step back a little bit, talk about some bigger picture topics.
Macro.
Micro. Great word, Sean.
Wow.
God.
There's that USC education.
There it is.
Right there.
It pays off.
Were you Marshall Business School guy?
You know, Sean stayed the whole way, so you left a little early.
Yeah.
So
I came back.
Well, the big move to the Big Ten. I think, Max, you asked Mike Bone about it. So, why don't I start with you there? Sort of we all got to get over our initial shock of it, right? I think we all had that reaction. What's your reaction now, a couple months after hearing the really stunning news?
Yeah, I think it speaks to what Mike Bone's all about, in that he's not going to sit by and wait by, and he's going to set the standard for what the future of college football is. And it's obviously a monumental move. It puts the Pac-12 in a really tough spot, but it puts the USC on a trajectory that protects them for future, not only 2 years down the road, but 10 years down the road. And yeah, Mike Bone's coming in here, not apologizing, doing what he needs to do to protect the student athletes. I think long term, the slate of games that you can have in the Coliseum with the matchups that we're used to seeing on January 1st in the Rose Bowl, now coming here September, October, November. It's going to be fun for fans and great for TV ratings as well.
Oh, Max, I'm so upset I don't get Dakota Corvallis and The Weekender. Oh, my God. I remember when I was hearing that, I was like, what are people talking about? They're going to get to see Michigan. We're going to get to go to the Horseshoe. I was jumping out of my skin when I heard it.
You're not going to miss staying in Idaho to go cover Washington State?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm ready to go right now. If they could sign me up right now, I'd go. But I'm excited about the matchup. Obviously, we've had a great tradition with the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl, and we've whooped their butts if you look at the record. So we're excited about getting out there, and I can't wait for it to happen. I think it's just going to be fun football every Saturday.
Speaking from a Cali kid's perspective, at first I was kind of reluctant to the move because I love that Cal matchup, and going to Oregon State and playing Oregon or going to Washington. I'm just a Pac-12 guy. I'm even a Pac-10 guy. That's how long I've been watching this thing. But no, going to the Big Ten, it's huge. It's monumental. You can't compare to where USC is going to be playing Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Nebraska, Wisconsin every year. It helps with recruiting. It helps with our other sports. Our basketball team now is going to be in one of the stronger conferences, and it's just, it's a lot to take in, but it's the right move.
Get your jackets ready. Get your wardrobe changes.
The sideline reporter could get a little hairy in November in Ann Arbor.
Jordan, he's associate athletic director. He sits first class on these flights, guy. Don't let him fool you. I'm back there and coach.
He's
toasting. Jordan's in first class.
There we go.
That's a complete lie. But I have a little fur for the Colorado game in November.
Little North Face.
I know your jacket.
We might need to go a little thicker as we get deep into a Big Ten schedule for sure. But we are playing in the Pac-12 for the next 2 seasons, and the Trojans are picked to finish 3rd in the league this year. And listen, I think Utah fairly favorites to start this thing. They bring back a ton. They were the class of the league last year. They gave Ohio State a great run in the Rose Bowl. I like the Lincoln Riley's in a little bit of an underdog position. I don't want the expectations to be, hey, if he doesn't win the national championship this year, he's some sort of failure in year one.
No, Kyle Whittingham has put it all together there, and they're playing football the right way right now, and they should be start where they have with the number one spot there. Obviously, get Cam Rising coming back, a talented quarterback, maybe one of the better in the country. So definitely, I definitely see why they're chosen. And then, or you look at Oregon, kind of getting both straight. Not a good look today for the Pac-12 as Oregon's getting both
21-3
to Georgia right now.
Check. Yep.
But
that ball different down there.
28-3.
That ball different down there.
28-3 in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just it's crazy what's going on right now. But I mean, I applaud Oregon for even going down the schedule. That's back-to-back years they scheduled SEC teams. So I mean, Oregon's getting a little taste of it. I don't know if they'll end up making the move, but a lot of changes happening in the Pac-12 conference.
Well, everyone wants this stage, right, Max? And that's what it's about. And they're on it right now. And you find out sometimes the stage can humble you a little bit. And so I think that's what Mike Bone talked about. It's the combination of the two things. It's investing with Lincoln Riley in this program and moving to the Big Ten. You can't go to the Big Ten doing it the way USC's been doing it.
And luckily it is 2 years from now. And by 2 years from now, you get 2 more recruiting cycles, 2 more transfer portal holes, I'm sure, as well. And so the roster going to the Big Ten is going to be dialed. I'm sure we'll have a new signal caller. But, yeah, it kind of goes in tandem there. I'm sure in the months ahead we'll get reports of Mike Bone adding more resources and more announcements. I mean, he stayed busy ever since he got hired. He's never, like we said, never just sitting on the sidelines and being passive. He's going to do what it takes to put SC back at that level like a Georgia is at.
You said it. You said you're glad that it's 2 years from now to get those classes coming in. So I don't know if you've heard, but Texas and Oklahoma have been given the option to join the SEC early. Do you think that they pursue that, or they wait until that 2 year period where they can go ahead and bring in a couple more classes before they decide to make that move?
It's all a money thing for me, which I'm not. It gets into like the buyout clauses there, which I'm not as well versed on. I'm sure it's a phone call that they take, but then again, maybe there's something to be said about get your momentum with your head coach in this era, these next 2 years, and then come into the Big Ten rocking and rolling.
And as we look at the national poll, the Trojans come in at number 14 in the country to start the season. Again, a nice sort of place to approach the season from. We know, I mean, there was one poll that came out, before the season that had USC at 4. I think it was Mark Schlabach's poll, and you're going, oh, hit the brakes a little bit. You don't want to start there, but it's a nice place. You can climb from 14. For sure, you also don't want to be irrelevant and start out of this poll, which we've seen.
I feel like we're there like every year. Like when we played, we're always like
12
15.
through 14.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, we're giving USC respect because we don't want to look like idiots if they do pop.
Yeah.
But it's not high enough where they're a top 10 team and expectations are sky high.
When I played, we were number 1. So
must be nice, Sean.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Whatever, Sean. Whatever.
I did see that note that Alabama, I think, is the third highest favorite or third strongest favorite to start a season since 2005. USC was one of them. So the year coming off of where they missed you, didn't have quite the same defense, didn't quite get over the hump at the end. But one is a lot of pressure to start that season. That 2005 team played that whole season with a ton of pressure on it, but Alabama's probably used to it by now. All right, our next segment, we were hoping to check in with our tunnel captains. We'll give you a sneak peek. It's going to be the Mobley brothers, which is cool because Evan Mobley might be the best basketball player in the history of USC. Never got to be in front of the fans, so hopefully he'll get some fans here today. They're both Cleveland Cavaliers. They're running a little bit late, so I don't think we're going to get them in this show. So maybe we'll see them throughout the broadcast. But we will get into some Heat topics next and how the Trojans are going to manage that. You listen to the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
It's time to rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, where you can be an impact player, a clutch hitter, or a wild card. No matter what your game is, the excitement and relaxation you're looking for is here. So get back to the fun and play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at itrustcapital.com.
My name is Melissa Ward. USC, United Airlines, and the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum are coming together to help veterans who are small business owners in the LA community. We are giving away $25,000 to 4 Southern California veteran business owners. To apply, please go to united.com/VSBG.
We get to play in one of the great stadiums in the world. First thing you got to do to become a great program is protect home. The energy and atmosphere, and here you are right in the heart of LA. Nothing else like it in our game. There's nothing that compares to it in college football. We got to have that place packed, man. I mean, that place in that setting, this school, this history, come on, man. That's as good as it gets, so we're going to get it back.
A great day to be a Trojan Knight at the Coliseum. They don't wear shirts anyway, so it's the perfect weather for them. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. And speaking of not wearing shirts, for some reason, Sean has decided to change into a basketball.
I thought we were talking hoops here. I thought we had the brothers talking hoops. I thought Mobley and Isaiah would be here, but I thought we were talking hoops, so I put my jersey on, man.
I think Evan and Isaiah decided to spend a little more time in the air conditioning and not come out here and melt with us. But, you know, they're Inland Empire legends like my friend Suey here. A lot of Inland Empire discussion on the group chat this year. Apparently, Sean is not from the Inland Empire.
San Gabriel Valley.
And wants everyone to know that.
Yeah, apparently it's a very negative connotation to associate him with
Let's not start any regionalism here. I'm from the San Gabriel Valley, a proud member. So continue with the IE discussion.
Yeah, no, Temecula Goats. We missed them today. That basketball money's a little different. So you know.
That's true, for sure, especially when you're the third pick in the draft. And Evan came off a fantastic rookie season. They just got Donovan Mitchell, so
15-8,
and Isaiah drafted to the Cavs. So the Cavs will be fun to watching those brothers as their careers grow. And we got to see them at USC 1 year together, and then 3 years from Isaiah as well. You know, one topic we didn't get to earlier, wanted to get to now, was the offensive line. Again, they always they get skipped a little bit, but you know, shouldn't skip this group. A little bit of a luxury here, Max, that Lincoln does get to inherit a veteran group. I think there's some concern maybe in the depth charts years out that they need to build up this position group, but as it stands, he's got a lot of vets to lean on in his first year as he sets his offense.
That was one of my biggest takeaways coming out of spring, is Lincoln Riley's temperament of being pleasantly surprised of where the offensive line was at. Because I think in years past, the fan base, I took those live callers last year, it's easy to kind of rag on the offensive line, but I look at this group, that's a group that can win you a Pac-12 title. Tons of experience up front. We're seeing Brett Nealon, Justin Dedich, Andrew Voorhees. That's a lot of football right there. And I'm excited because Nealon and Dedich, relatively smaller guys in this Lincoln Riley offense. When they're pulling around, I think that suits their skill set well. But oftentimes the new staff, that's an area where you have to build offensive line. There's a lot of experience up there. And don't forget about left tackle, Cortland Ford and Bobby Haskins still sorting that out, which is unique because usually in the college ranks, you don't have the battle at left tackle. You have the battle at right tackle because the loser of the left tackle guy just becomes the right tackle guy. So that's interesting, but you have 6 guys that you have confidence in, and they're going to need all 6 this season.
Yeah. All right, let's get to a fan question. We mentioned throughout the season you can hit us up with questions using the hashtag Trojan Tailgate Show on Twitter, and they are asking here for a position group. So thank you to Andrew Hogue, or Andrew Hoagie, not sure how to pronounce it. Which position group is the biggest area of concern, guys? You guys have one?
I would say it's DB. I would think the defensive back room is the biggest area of concern just because there's not the depth there, and there's a lot of inexperience, you know. If somebody goes down at corner, who is that third corner? If somebody goes down at nickel, Damani Jackson's not playing today. So who is going to step up in that DB room outside of Kalen Bullock and be that force that you need to be? Because we already know Makai's going to do his thing. He's done his thing at Colorado. He's a press corner. He likes to use his hands. He's physical. I'm not worried about him. But Sierra Wright, new to the game, first year, going to really get some significant playing time. What's he going to do? What is the third corner going to do? Is there a safety that can step in if Kalen goes down? God forbid. So there's a lot of questions I have for the DB room, and there's not a lot of depth that can answer it.
Yeah, I think really it's always a depth question for me. Sua speaks of the defensive backs depth, but I think the offensive linemen too. Yeah, we feel good in those veterans who are going out there, but behind them, not a lot of experience. And we know in those trenches, you can get a lot of injuries, little nicks, take you out a couple plays, take you out a couple series. You got to get those guys in there. I also think today is a good day to get those guys in there, get some experience.
Yeah.
If you're able to get up a little lead here, maybe in that third quarter, get some of these backup guys some run. And that's what we've tried to do in years prior. That haven't really panned out. We've been in some battles in these first game ones, so hopefully we can jump out in a little lead here.
You know, we've talked about the Heat mostly from a fan perspective so far, and if you joined us late, you know, Mike Bone even mentioned the band for precautionary reasons, and this was he wanted to make sure the band didn't want this, but the athletic department did to protect their safety, but they won't even be in uniform today. They'll just be in shorts and T-shirts. But, you know, the players just have to play, right? They got to play through this, guys. So, how do you deal with the Heat today as a player?
It is what it is.
You just play football.
It is what it
This is what you signed up for, man.
Exactly.
You've been doing training camp. It's been hot. You don't care about this, man. Obviously, it'll affect you because you'll obviously get more lethargic as the game goes on. But stay hydrated. This is part of football. Whether it's cold, whether it's hot, you go out there and you ball.
I mean, we've been putting on pads, and you guys have been in training camp for the last month, and you've probably had hotter days outside of this. So it's game day. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 120 degrees out here. You're so amped up and ready to play. You're going to be drenched in sweat and spraying. You'll naturally cool yourself down, but you're not focused on the weather at all. You're just focused on hitting somebody that doesn't wear the same uniform as you.
Get him a bag. Give him an IV bag.
The no humidity is clutch, and also don't be a warm-up warrior here. I was guilty of that at times. You're coming out there like full sweat, and it's like, what the heck is happening?
5-step drops.
Those are the guys that you know
five-step drop after 5-step drop.
Literally trying to get right, especially a game like this, like Rice, backup quarterback. Like, you got to stay
You were
ready.
hitting the Dak hip.
You know, come warm. Literally, the Dak back hip. You had all the stops were out.
All right, Old Dominion Freight Line is the official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises. There's Gary Bryan out there warming up before the game. As Sua mentioned, Damani Jackson, the other guy that wears number 1, will not be suited for this one. We'll have to wait to see the freshman's debut. But when we come back, we will hear from the head coach, Lincoln Riley. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
It's time for the Student Veteran Interview, brought to you by IBEW 11, NECA, and Pipe Trades. Together, these groups proudly support USC. Fight on!
Time now for our student vet interview, and I have Kevin Gonzalez, an analyst for the U.S. Government Accountability Office. He uses his analytic skills in areas such as international affairs, homeland security, U.S. defense. Important stuff, Kevin. Appreciate you joining us. You served this country in the Marine Corps. What did you do?
I served in the Marine Corps aviation field. And so we tested jet engines prior to them being put on aircraft to support ground service members.
And now you're getting your master's in public policy here at USC. What do you want to do with that degree?
I currently work for an agency that serves Congress and the American people. So, I'll continue to be a public servant, leveraging my education from USC to continue serving our country in just a different capacity.
Well, we really appreciate it. We thank you so much for your service and for being this week's Student Vet Interview. Thank you, Kevin Gonzalez.
Thank you.
Back inside the Coliseum for the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown with you. And fans starting to come in a little bit. I think they're taking their sweet time today. And It'll be hardy souls only in here, given the extreme heat conditions. But 2 weeks from now, hoping we'll fill this place up for Fresno State. That'll be a late night game, so we shouldn't have to deal with the heat on that one. But this one counts just as much, and it is the opener for Lincoln Riley, so he won't be worried about anything other than getting an opening dub. And we talk about expectations so much. We talked about with Caleb a little bit. What are fair expectations for Lincoln Riley as he begins his USC career?
I think it's competing for the Pac-12. I think that's number one. And when I think back to my years of playing here at USC, Pete's number one thing was every year we get here, we're competing for that Pac-12, and everything else, we can worry about that later. But this is compete for the Pac-12 and start dominating here in the Coliseum, right? It felt like a long time since another team was fearful of coming into this building. I think that starts from today. Like, hey, we're sending the president here at the stadium, what it's like to play here. I know the fans, it's a little hot today. They might not be here in big numbers, but get going, get that energy going in here, get that old feeling of, hey, this is different to play in this building.
Yeah, and I don't want to tell fans to taper down expectations, but be okay with where we are right now and just give it time. You know, I think you said it. Winning the Pac-12 should be the main goal. Obviously, we have aspirations to win national championships and be into the CFB playoff every single year. But right now with this team, first year as a head coach, be okay with winning the Pac-12 and understanding that 10 games, 10-plus wins is a successful season. And I know there's a lot of people, it's Los Angeles, they expect undefeated and, expect rings and all that, which is fine. That comes with time. But this year, be okay with winning the Pac-12. Be okay with beating Utah soundly and protecting this home field.
I'd be thrilled with a Pac-12 championship. That'd
sure.
be big time. And keep in mind, no more divisions, no more north-south.
Top two teams go.
The best will play the best.
Exactly, and I fully anticipate Utah to be there. It's just a matter of who's that second team, and it's got to be SC. I put SC and Oregon in a similar classification right now. I think there's going to be a logjam in the middle of the conference, but in November, we need to be sitting here saying SC's got a chance to play in Vegas.
Well, another new member of our USC Trojans media network this year is Keely Orr, the team insider, and she sat down with the head coach Lincoln Riley for this week's Prescription to Win.
Who's going to teach you how to play football?
My football coach.
Let's go!
This is your Prescription to Win. Brought to you by USC Pharmacy, proud partner of USC Athletics. At USC Pharmacy, it's all about your health. Learn more at pharmacies.usc.edu. And now, here is head coach Lincoln Riley.
Coach, after all the hard work that was put in this season, how does it feel to finally get to a game?
Tough to describe, to be honest. Yeah, just so many different pieces had to come together just to be at this point. So it's exciting to be here. I mean, I think we all have looked forward to it, and a lot of people across the country, especially all the Trojan fans, have really looked forward to it. So, we've told the guys, and we've talked about all week, we only get to do this one once, and so let's make the most of it.
You released a depth chart earlier this week. Was there anything on the two deep that developed that surprised you?
I wouldn't say it surprised me. There's been great competition. I think the big thing that you feel as a coach is this depth chart is going to continue to evolve. It's going to continue to be about guys that are producing in those moments, not about what happened before and not necessarily projecting forward. And so these competitions are going to go on. You're going to have all the different things that come up in the season, and we're going to need so many of those guys, whether they're a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a scout teamer. Guys are going to have to contribute. Guys are going to have to continue to improve throughout the year. To be a championship team, your roster has to continue to evolve, and the competition has got to remain even though you get in the season. If you're only competing on Saturday, at some point you're going to fall off. And so that's been our focus. I do think we've got a roster full of guys that want to do it. Now we've got to be able to maintain it.
Quarterback Caleb Williams is entering his second year in your scheme. What are you expecting from him against Rice?
To lead us, to operate the offense at a high level, to play decisive. I think he's prepared the way that you want him to prepare. He's had a really good last couple of weeks. I thought he closed camp really strong and has done well since then. And so take what we've been doing on the practice field, take it to the game field, and go lead us.
There's been a lot of talk about how you're ushering this new era of USC football. Do you have a message for USC fans?
Just so we're ready. I mean, we're ready to be here. Again, I've said a lot. I know there's a lot of talk and excitement on the outside, and that's great. Ultimately, it's going to come down to what we do in between those white lines. And so they've got a team that's very hungry, that's excited to play. I know we'll have great support throughout the season, and they're going to get the very best of us.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time, and good luck.
All right, thank you.
I'm Keely Yor. This is your prescription to win. We'll be right back here on the USC Trojan Media Network.
Sometimes faster isn't always better. Like when you're getting a tattoo. Or saying I love you on the first date. Or putting together certain Swedish furniture.
But when it comes to getting in and out of the airport, faster is always better. And at Ontario International Airport, you can have a stress-free experience from the curb to the gate.
It's the least we can do.
Fires one, slices and dices.
Pulls up for three and knocks it through.
Another power play score.
USC superior in the sand!
The fully electric Audi e-tron family is here. With models that fit any lifestyle and innovative ways to make your e-tron your own. Through elegant design and progressive technology, all the exhilaration, none of the compromise. The Audi e-tron family, progress that moves you.
I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, and there's no place I'd rather be. I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, and time don't matter to me, 'cause I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere.
One final segment of the Trojan Tailgate Show, getting you set for the season opener between USC and Rice. The 2022 season opener, the debut of the Lincoln Riley era. Jordan Moore, Sua Cravens, Max Brown. We kick Sean Cody up to the booth, although I still see him wandering around the set, so not entirely sure what Sean's up to. But you have a lot of space. He left his spotting chart.
He left his space. Yeah,
Hand that to
He
Max.
left his tank top.
Yeah, there
Let's
we
go ahead and pass that down to him.
Somebody let Sean know. We always have to take care of Sean. This is a nice little BTS segment where you find out that Sean is the person we always have to take care of. You know, he's the
He'd be
there
lost
he
without
is.
us. There he is.
He's very happy. He's got his spotting boards back. All right, it's time now to find out who our best in the game picks are. This is brought to you by Old Dominion.
The best in the game is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics. Helping the world keep promises.
Well, Sean's pick was Darwin Barlow, so he wanted to make sure that was on the record. And, listen, the depth chart came out. Darwin, who we saw last year, shows some real flashes. TCU transfer. He is listed at 4th on the depth chart, but I think Sean's guessing this is the kind of game where potentially he may get the rock a bunch in the second half if the score opens up a little bit. I'm moving up a little bit on the running back depth chart. I like Riley Brown, guys. I mean, just, from what I have seen, Travis Dye, Austin Jones, these are really good quality backs, but there is a different gear to what Raleek can do in the open field, and I think he will very quickly become a fan favorite.
Yeah, he's going to be that little treat that we get. So we're used to Travis, and you get used to Austin, and then you see this young freshman who's unproven and just come out there and just be a shot of adrenaline on the field. And we've seen it in practice. We've seen it so far since he's been here. I got high expectations for him. I think he's going to play well.
Max, there was talk that he might be more of a slot guy than a running back, but everything I've heard now is running back. Do you think that they just sort of looked at the depth chart after getting Addison and Williams and decided, hey, we could use explosiveness more in the backfield than potentially what they were talking about in the slot?
I think so much with true freshmen is you don't want to overwhelm them. So you want them to learn one role and excel that, and then maybe here come October, November, maybe that extends out to some jet sweep stuff out of the slot and maybe some third down things. That to me has been my experience with high level true freshmen, but it's a crowded running back room for sure.
You can always throw him at kick return and just get his feet wet like that.
Interested to see who that's going to be though, who the kick returner is.
And punt. Sua, give me your best in the game.
Not to be Captain Obvious, but I chose Caleb Williams because he's the quarterback. You know, right? Just a shot in the dark there. He's the quarterback. The success of this team weighs on his shoulders. He's gotten a lot of hype, a lot of expectations. He's built a lot of pressure on himself, and I think he's going to handle it well. Obviously, the season will determine how well he plays.
Sue was taking the obvious. I'm going a little bit more nitty-gritty. I got my eye on Max Williams today. Like his story over the past year, was expecting big things from him last year, gets sidelined by an injury, and when the depth chart got released, his name popped to me, having won one of those safety position battles in a safety room there's a lot of bodies there, a lot of guys that were probably saying, hey, I think I should start. Number 4 emerges as the dude. I'm excited for him, and it's a Rice game that they're going to run the rock. I think these safeties are going to come downhill. They're going to get involved in the box. Would not be surprised if a safety ends up with double-digit tackles today.
And because Max got that starting spot, you get Jalen Smith moving into that nickel position. Yeah. So it'll be his first time getting some real action and at a significant role on defense.
I was going to say, Max's name popped to me because I thought it was a nickel. You know, again, when you don't see camp as closely as maybe we've seen in the past, you don't really hear about that transition. And then all of a sudden you're going, wait a second, Max is the starting free safety. Jalen was a player that we were impressed with last season as well. So maybe it is just, hey, how can I get my best DBs in the field and then sort of figure it out after that?
Yeah, and we'll see. And we also, this is not the full-strength defense. This isn't Coach Grinch's best foot forward. We have guys like Damani that's not playing today, Branch who's out. So, you know, there's a lot to see, a lot of potential on this defense.
And last year, we noticed the drop-off of Talanoa Hufanga being out. That safety room wasn't as elite. Can that room take a step where it's not just you're throwing bodies out there, but you have guys that can make some plays?
Well, the action is behind us right now as all the Trojans, fully padded, fully suited up, have met at the base of the tunnel, and they are huddling up right behind us with their new head strength coach, Benny Wiley, who's led this offseason program, and he sends them out onto the field. So this is a
little different energy.
We're back to black socks, huh?
In the past couple years.
Black socks, black accessories, huh?
White laces is the big ticket item for me.
Yes, it is. White laces are out there. We're keeping the tradition with a little drip added to it,
There you go.
Okay.
Definitely adding Sua's fashion report to the rundown for the next game.
Yes, sir.
The black spat too. Ooh, that's looking sharp.
Ice dripping.
Hey, one other position battle I wanted to talk about, or depth chart, was Shane Lee and Raylan Goforth. And Goforth was a guy who I think starts today if they hadn't brought Gentry in the portal, so there would have been the two of them starting together. Instead, I think Goforth probably ends up as the third linebacker, but Lincoln Riley really likes him as a third linebacker.
Yeah, and he'll probably come in a lot more on passing downs and passing situations. I don't see Shane Lee being a guy that's going to be relied on to be covering coverage. Threes and covering slot and speed formation. So you'll see Raylan. This is no mean a knock on Raylan. This is just more of a plug and play. So if we get against a team that's going to come out probably empty and go and throw the ball 70 times, then we might see a switch where Raylan starts and then Shane kind of gets the best seat of that game. So not a knock on any of these players. It's just plug and play at this point.
I read that as a tip of the cap to Raylan Goforth. I think it's been an off season where Shane Lee's got every single headline. Yep. And then you talk about he gets the Shane Lee or Raylan Goforth. It's saying, hey, Raylan, we remember that you were the leading tackler a year ago. We remember that, hey, it probably wasn't the easiest transition for you. So good on Raylan. Expect him to be the third backer.
Yep, I absolutely read it the same way, Max, that no disrespect to him because they loved what they saw from him, particularly in spring, and he did not lose the job. They just brought in another talented player. Hey, we brought in a bunch of talent this year, too. It is a blast to be back on the Trojan Tailgate Show. Thanks to our new producer, director, Gia Lares, and our entire crew here at the Trojan Tailgate Show. The big broadcast is next. It's the voice of the Trojan, Pete Arbogast, coming up on the USC Trojans Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video board for an important announcement about stadium emergency procedures. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you may be directed or required to evacuate. Please follow instructions and proceed in an orderly fashion to the nearest exit. Please note that this exit may be either above or below your seating location. If the nearest exit is below your seat location, and is the field itself, you should proceed onto the Coliseum field and exit through either the Coliseum tunnel to the west or the peristyle end to the east. The peristyle steps are available for emergency exiting. If the closest exit is above your seating location, please proceed to the nearest exit tunnel. If exiting through one of the upper tunnels, please then access the nearest staircase to street level. Do not walk along the upper concourse. Once outside the seating area, vacate the Coliseum immediately via the nearest gate. Guests seated in the 200 and 300 levels of the Scholarship Club Tower will locate emergency exit stairs at each end and center of the building. Please exit to the concourse level and immediately proceed outside to the nearest gate. Guests seated in the 400, 500, 600, and 700 levels of the Scholarship Club Tower access emergency exit stairs at each end of the building and proceed to the upper concourse. Please then access the nearest staircase to street level and exit the nearest gate. Please proceed as directed in a calm, orderly fashion. We thank you for your attention.
USC has assigned a high priority to assuring all athletic events are conducted in a safe and enjoyable atmosphere. In compliance with the Trojan Spirit Code, please respect all fans in attendance. For immediate assistance during the game, please speak with the closest usher or security personnel. To report any incidents of fan misconduct, please call the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum Fan Behavior Hotline at 213-263-4007, or you can text Coliseum with your seat location and a description of the situation to 213-263-4007. Again, that number is 213-263-4007. We thank you for your cooperation and hope you enjoy the game. Fans, be sure to sign into the USC network Fight On for faster service. USC Athletics would like to thank everyone for providing the hand sanitizing white packages given out upon entrance today. Follow them online at Everyone Products. Fans, snap a selfie and tag it with hashtag USC Selfie, and you just might see yourself up on the video board during today's game. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at USC_athletics. And now let's take it down to our DJ booth and check in on DJ Malski.
Hey, Trojan fans everywhere, we need you loud and proud today. Who's excited to fight on today? Who's excited for the start of a new era? Who's excited to shock the world? If you're ready, Trojans, we need you loud and proud. Let me hear you scream.
We have the maker mindset.
The Pac-12 is very competitive and very diverse.
As a track athlete, as an athlete in an Olympic sport, the Pac-12 is the place to be.
We would not be where we are today without our coaches, our teammates, without our trainers, without our professors.
It's a blessing to be able to wear that Pac-12 logo on my jersey and represent the conference in all walks of life.
We are memory makers.
Olympian makers.
Change makers.
The Pac-12
called the conference of champions for a reason.
Nothing is more important than this snap, this blitz, this drive. Nothing is more important than taking the field each week, alongside your brother, going out in battle, moving the chains, surviving the gauntlet, raising the hard way. Nothing is more important than this game. And the next game is on Pac-12 Networks.
Hi, yes, I need a locksmith. 3 hours. Guess I'll be right here.
Oh, nice. 2% cash back, right?
And it is saving the day right now.
Good afternoon.
It was.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa Card. That's real life ready.
This is the story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
Hey everybody, my name is Shane Lee. Welcome to the Coliseum. Enjoy the game and fight on.
Hey Trojan family, Caleb Williams here. Welcome to the Coliseum. Fight on.
What's up, Trojan Nation? Justin Dietich. Welcome to the Coliseum. Glad you guys can make it. Be loud, have fun, and fight on.
Welcome, Trojan fans, to the Coliseum. My name is 33 Piloto. Fight on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United Airlines field at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for today's matchup featuring the visiting Rice Owls and the home team, your University of Southern California Trojans. We hope you enjoy the entire game day experience today, and we remind you to follow the Trojan Spirit Code by showing respect for all fans in attendance. Thank you, and fight on.
Trojan fans, who's ready to turn up today? If you're ready, we need some noise. Look, student section, you're the heart of today. Everybody on their feet, arm around somebody right now. Let's go. You know how we do it. We setting it off in here. Let's get to it. Here we go. You ready to go crazy? 1, 2, 3.
interview. Coach, it's been a long off-season with a lot of hard work. How does it feel to finally play some ball today?
We're here, finally. Let's get this place rocking today like it should be.
This is the first time that USC fans will see this revamped roster against an opponent. What should they expect today?
I think they'll enjoy watching this team. They prepared in a championship level all way, but you got to do it now. And that's talking season's over, hype season's over. It's time to play ball.
All righty, good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Howdy, y'all.
We're the Ross University Marching Owl Band from Houston, Texas. We're like the Stanford Band, but we have taste. Anyways, back home we eat barbecue and go to the rodeo, but just for today, we thought y'all might teach us how to surf. Here we are, performing for the best university in SoCal. UCLA. Right? Whoops. Sorry. What does USC stand for anyway? University of Silly Costumes? Your band looks like Muppets, especially with those funny hats. Ooh, and what are the feathers compensating for? Sorry about that mix-up. Perhaps we could make things up by bringing you a Texan rodeo, but with an LA twist. Y'all showed us how to surf, so we're gonna show Traveler how to rope. Yeehaw! Now that we have Traveler in our clutches, we'll sell him to a real nice rancher and give y'all a cut of the money. We both know tuition ain't cheap. That was fun, but a rodeo ain't complete without barbecue. Maybe Coach Riley can make a real brisket this time.
Presenting the Spirit of Troy, the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band. Band, take the field. With drum major Jacobo Herrera, twirler Emily Tutnick, and the SC Silks. Joining the color guard on the field is a representative of the SoCal Pipe Trade, CPMCA, and IBEW, NECA of LA County. Proud supporters of USC athletics and our military veterans. Today we honor this week's student veteran of the game, Kevin Gonzalez. An analyst for the U.S. Government Accountability Office, leveraging his analytical skills in numerous study areas, Kevin is a first-generation college graduate and U.S. Marine Corps veteran. He earned his bachelor's degree in political science from Loyola Marymount University in 2020 and is currently working toward a Master of Public Policy at USC. Marine Corps, he served in the aviation wing and supported the operational readiness of aircraft to provide air support to ground forces. Please join us in welcoming Kevin Gonzalez as our student veteran of the game and thanking him for his service. And now please rise and join in singing as the Trojan Marching Band, under the direction of Dr. Jacob Vogel, plays our national anthem. collegiate football's greatest battle cry, conquest. And the Trojan mascot, Traveler. The spirit of Troy, the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the tunnel and your tunnel captains for today's game. Current Cleveland Cavaliers, Isaiah and Evan Mobley.
What's up, Trojan fans? It's Isaiah Mobley here and Evan Mobley here, and we're gonna bring out the football team. We need you on your feet. We need you to get loud. We need to make some noise, because here we come. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now taking the field, your USC Trojans.